Hey everybody, welcome to Harmon Garage. I'm Aaron, and I'm super excited to make another video. First things first, I want to thank everybody that's been participating in the t-shirt giveaways. Had a lot of interaction with that, and I'm glad for that, and we're not going to stop now. This video will also have a t-shirt giveaway, and we're going to run it the same way. Be subscribed, hit the like button if you want to, and leave a comment. Don't care what the comment says. Don't care if it's negative, positive, or indifferent. All you gotta do is leave a comment. You're entered to win a t-shirt. The end. It'll run until the next video gets posted. When the next video gets posted, I'll do a random comment generator. Whoever it picks wins. If you've already won a t-shirt and your name gets drawn again, you won't win another t-shirt, but I'll send you out a sticker pack. So, something to think about. Leave a comment, be subscribed, please. Helps a lot trying to grow the channel, and we're going gung-ho trying to make this thing something. So, anyways, that out of the way, we're gonna work on Shorty again today, and I wanna try to knock this project out today. And I think I can, but we'll see what happens. So, this thing's gonna get an axle flip in the rear, which we're probably not gonna flip the axle today because I gotta change the gears in the axle and I'm putting all new bearings, all new seals, new gears, all that in the rear end. So and everything needs to be cleaned up and painted and all that still. So we're probably not gonna flip the axle and get it mounted today, which I guess I could, because it's just as easy to do all that stuff in the truck as it is out of the truck, but it still needs to be cleaned up and painted and stuff, so I don't know. But I do know that it's gonna get notched today, and that's what this video is gonna be about. So let me get my stuff together, we'll get started, and we'll cut her up again. I don't know what's going on, but it's been a rough week for tools here at Harmon Garage, and I don't know why, other than I'm just wearing crap out. But my trusty old snap-on impact that I use probably every day, was using it to take Shorty apart, pulled the trigger, it didn't turn, smoke started pouring out of it, and that was it for that. So guess we're gonna go back to the manual stuff and get some muscle back in my arms, because I ain't spending $500, or better to get another one. And then I told you guys the story about this particular grinder that I've had for at least 20 years, got used. It was given to me by somebody who's no longer with us. Not that, not saying it's got sentimental value or anything, but I've had it for a really long time, and a buddy that's no longer with us gave it to me. And yesterday when I was doing the frame shortening on this, I was putting a T and some rivets to hammer them off in exhaust hangers, and I turned it on and started cutting, and it just stopped, and then it never went again. So I don't know what it is, but electric power tools are not doing good at Harmon Garage this week. So hopefully we can get this work done today without anything else going into retirement on us. So just wanted to throw that in there. Kind of goofy, I'm having all kinds of issues. So we'll get started now. All right, well, we're ready to get started on notching this thing now. I got a little bit sidetracked because my buddy that has the tractor that come over to help me pull the LS motor and trans out of the wrecked Silverado back there that's going in the Scout, had some free time to come over and help me do it. And I thought it was going to be like a 10-minute job because I already had everything unhooked, and it ended up being a lot more and a pain in the butt. But we got it out. I had to go home and change because I was laying in antifreeze soaked crap and everything else, and ate some lunch while I was there. Now it's afternoon, and I still think I can get this notch done today, and that's what we're about to do now. So I'm going to get set up. We'll start marking this thing and get to it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, first thing I wanna do is mark where I'm gonna notch it at. And so I'm taking a square and squaring off the frame here and going down to the front of the axle. And then I'll mark that. And then I'm going to do the same thing back here at the rear of the axle. And I'll mark that. Now I know where my outsides of my axle are going to be. Now you may say, oh, but when you flip the axle on top of the springs, that's going to move it forward, which is correct. But then when you use the axle flip kit, it's got an offset hole that you put it in and offset it so it moves it back. So essentially the rear end is going to be sitting in the same exact spot on top of the springs as it is on the bottom of the springs. It gets offset by the brackets. So now that I know that, I'm going to, that's about 3.5 inches. So we're going to go 1 3/4 should be my half. This is going to get really confusing really fast, but you'll figure it out in a minute. So I marked my center. And then I'm taking, so that's what I was trying to get to for now, is my center. That's what we need. These lines don't matter. We just need the center. I'm going to mark the other side so that it's marked. Then I'll show you guys how I get rid of these bump stops, because you can't have them on there once you flip it over, and you need to get rid of them to put the notch in. But I'll go mark the other side. We'll show you how to get the bump stops off, and then we'll finish laying this out and marking it, and I'll show you how all of it goes, and we'll get this thing knocked out. Back to the fun game of getting rid of rivets. We got 4 rivets in here holding our bump stop on, and I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, I forgot, this doesn't fit on here for some reason. Every other tool I got with the same air fitting goes right on this hose. This one does not. Alright, hold on. Alright. Now we should be back in business. Hey, there we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut crosses on the tops of all these rivets. Just one line one way, one line the other way, all the way down to the frame without gouging up the frame. Well, it's already got a big hole in it, so I'm just going to get it out of the way. Needed to be replaced anyways. Alright, got that cut like I told you. Now we're going to take our air chisel, and you might want to put your earplugs in, cover your ear or something, it's going to be loud. And then, if I can move you guys around here without beating you up too bad. Easiest way to get this off, rather than trying to punch those rivets through, come on the flats here in between the frame and the bump stop. There you go. So, needs a little of cleanup down there, but most of it's going to get cut out anyways, so it won't matter. I'm going to pry over my broken soapstone here, go over, do the other side real quick, and then we'll move on. Alright, next thing we're going to do is get our notch ready. And to do that, I'm going to measure across the bottom of the C-channel on the frame. And I've got about 3 1/4 inches. And I want to leave some to hang out each side. So when I weld it on, I've got a lip there that I can weld in, because that'll give me a lot better weld. So I'm going to go 3 1/4. We'll go 3 3/4 wide. That'll give me, you know what, we're just going to go 4, because that'll give me for sure a nice amount to weld on each side. I'm going to pick four spots on here to mark 4 inches. I guess I got them kind of close together. I'll put a couple more for good measure. There, we shouldn't be able to screw that up. Huh, we will. Alright, now I'm going to take some tape. I should be able to run this tape right along these marks I just put on here. Like so. All the way around, as long as I stay on the marks and keep it tight. And it lines up when I get back around like it just did. Then I should be able to cut it, and I'll get a nice straight cut. So, that's what I'm going to do now. I'm not in the mood to have a disc blow up in my face today, and that one's kind of got some weird chunks, so I'm gonna go get a new one. Alright, got all that stuff taken care of, and I'm glad that happened, because I didn't know I didn't tighten this down. It would have been 2 discs that were junk today. And that one might have hurt. Tube here that I cut for my notch, and I got a, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's really flexible ruler. So I'm going to go ahead and make a mark on my cylinder here, my pipe, and then I'm going to start the ruler there. And bring it all the way back around. And I've got, let's see, so 1 foot 2 1/4 would be 14, 14 1/4, so 7 1/8 would be half, and then half of that would be 3 1/2 and a 1/16. And 3 1/2 and a 1/16. Okay. That probably couldn't really see that, but now I'm going to take this and I'm going to mark these lines straight all the way through. Okay, now you can see on here I've got it quartered. Got 4 marks on there. So what I'll do is I'll cut this one and this one, then I'll have halves, and then this line here and this line here will be my alignment point or my centering point to line it up on the center of that, so I know where my perfect center is. So I'm going to take the wheel and cut my 2 lines that I need to cut. We'll get those knocked out real quick, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so now I'm going to take my piece here. I'm going to line my line that I put on here up with my center on there, and I'm going to line my notch up with the bottom of the frame. And I'm just going to go and mark that. Like so. Do the same thing on the other side. I'll mark the bottom with my T-square, and then we'll go ahead and bring a saw over and start cutting that out. Okay, you guys might wonder what the heck I'm doing with a jigsaw out here, but I've done this a lot of different ways. I've used the plasma cutter, I've used the torch, I've used the cutoff wheel, just about anything you could think of, and I found that a jigsaw is actually the easiest. It might not be the fastest, you got to kind of take your time, but you can get a nice straight line and it's really clean. There's not a lot of cleanup you have to do after you get done cutting, like where if you torch it or plasma cut it, you get a whole bunch of slag and all that, and it makes a mess. And if you use a cutoff wheel, you're trying to, you know, cut a round hole with a squared off deal, and you know what I'm saying. So with this, you can follow along what you want, and there's nothing to do but clean up to weld, you know, scuff the rust and the paint off of the frame to weld. There's not a lot of grinding and all that stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I like this hole here to start. I'll bring it down and around and run it over here, and I'll stop and I'll pull it back out and I'll run it down over here and I'll stop, and then I'll get underneath on the creeper or something and cut the straights off there, and then we'll fit our pieces. So here we go. Okay, got that all cut out. I'm not going to cut the other side yet because honestly it's not really going to matter. Every time I've done this I get people that tell me, oh, as soon as you cut that notch out I saw the back sag. Okay, so when you got both ends of your leaf springs pushing up, how are you going to get anything that's going to sag? And you got your angle iron here on top, so you got it pushing up, but the angle iron's keeping it from pushing up. In order for this to push up, it'd have to bend. So I'm not doing anything wrong. There's not really any purpose to put, you know, extra support in to brace it to whatever while you cut it, because it can't really go anywhere is what I'm getting at. So, but just because, I'm going to go ahead and get this side tacked in before I cut that side, then we'll tack that side in, then we'll come back and we'll weld it all up. So I'm going to get my welder pulled out here, get it all set up and ready to go, and we'll clean all this up so we can weld on it, and we'll get her tacked in. Alright, I got that other side tacked in. I got my notch plate in and tacked in. I got it welded across here, but I got it tacked otherwise. I'm going to go ahead and weld this up, weld the outside up, and then this side will be done. Right after I turn my welder on. Sucker don't weld very good when it's turned off. I don't know what's going on there. Well, got the notch on the passenger side all done. 100% all welded up. Got my plate in here, it's all welded up. I went back and did a little bit of grinding on this, not to hide welds or anything, just to make sure it's smooth on the top in case there's a bed rail. Bed brace that sits across there, I'm not sure if there is or not, but just in case there is, I want to make sure it's flat and doesn't, you know, push up on it or anything. So welds turned out pretty good. So that's how I do it. Piece of pipe, piece of plate, and you saw the rest. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this other side cut, cleaned, welded, yada yada yada. I'll bring you guys back. I'll show you the other side finished up, and then we'll get going on it. All right, it is after quitting time. Got a little late today. I had a bunch of stuff going on other than what we're doing here, but I got the notch done, both sides, driver's side, all welded up, inside and out, passenger side all welded up, inside and out. Looking pretty good. All right, now she's shortened. She's notched for the drop. Next thing I'm gonna do is pull the rear end out. We're putting a different gear in the rear end and rebuilding the whole thing. It's gonna get all new seals, all new bearings, all new gears, all that stuff. So that'll be the next thing we do on this one. But for right now, I'm gonna go and find out who won the t-shirt. And then I'm going to shoot some primer on this so that we don't get surface rust and stuff. And I'll come back to you guys, let you know who won the t-shirt, show you that all primered up. And I think that might do it for this video. All right, got it all primered up as good as I need to. Just trying to keep it from surface rusting like I did up here where I cut the frame down. Not worried about runs or any of that stuff because everything's got to be cleaned and sanded before I paint it anyways. But that's done. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. The winner of the t-shirt from the last video is Jeff Burke. So Jeff, send me an email, send me a message on Facebook or Instagram with your size and your address, and I'll get a shirt out to you as soon as I can. And don't forget, you have another option to win in this video, so make sure you leave a comment in this video. Jeff, you can't win another t-shirt, but you can win a sticker pack if you get drawn again. But anybody can win a shirt in this video. Just leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and yeah, hit the like button while you're there too. It helps me out, so make sure you do that. I mean, where else can you go and just type something out and get a free shirt for it? So all right, well, that's gonna do it for this video. It's kind of a short one. I just wanted to show you guys how we do the C-notch. So Shorty's coming along. We got it shortened, we got it C-notched. I'm getting attacked by mud daubers, and it's been a long day. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you next time.